Hello. Sorry, I am a little out of it, frazzled, because I was hoping to do this in my living room on the couch, wrapped in a blanket. But when I put it on my laptop, it said that the internet was super insecure and that I needed to get closer to our router. And I only think that's because of how the weather is outside. So I've got my wearable blanket. I've got this blanket that I'm going to wrap in myself. But I have to get my desk a little bit more organized because I've got all my notebooks up here and there's no room to put my laptop. But I am here. An unscheduled writing stream or sprint stream, I guess. I was originally supposed to be at a like a holiday party that my old work still gets together for. And we canceled it, or we postponed it because of the weather. In the Chicagoland area where I am currently at, it is negative, I think 9 once it loads. It is -9 outside and it feels like -28. So I'm kind of glad that we postponed it because I don't want to be outside. My dog doesn't even want to go outside to go to the bathroom. So yeah. And the insulation in this house I don't think is the greatest because you can just like feel the wind coming through the windows. So that's great. Frida, hello. Welcome. And Katrina is here. Woohoo. Okay, so I don't know if I am doing writing or if I'm going to read. So there is I want to reread a fantasy series that has a romantic subplot, because when I first read this series, it was one of the inspirations for my fantasy romance. After reading this series, that's when I started developing my fantasy romance. And it's been years since I read this series, and I still say that it is one of my favorite fantasy series. But I haven't read 2018, and I want to know if it holds up to the same. I don't know what the word is, but I want to know if it holds up all these years later, and to see if I can get that like spark of it. So that would be the Fallen Kingdom series by Morgan Rhodes. So I might read a couple chapters of this tonight while on the stream if I don't feel like writing. But those are my two options to do tonight. And you can complain about your 53 degrees. Depending on where you are, 53 degrees is fairly cold. So go. I think Katrina down in the Texas area, well, even though Texas is large, I think it was like, wasn't it like 8 degrees or something by you today? Yeah, so let's see. I need to clean this desk. This desk is ridiculous. I don't know what I'm going to start with. Ooh, that one has some. I loved this series when I read it. I'm almost positive it was like January and February of 2018. I read the entire series, and it had me in like a chokehold. And it's YA fantasy, but there is a romantic subplot in it. And I remember loving it so much, and I want to know if it, lives up to my own hype from on like a reread. But from when I first read it, I highly recommend it, especially if you like fantasy. I kind of want to do a reread of the A Court of Thorns and Roses series as well. Even though I wasn't the biggest fan of the last book in that trilogy, but again, I want to see if it like sparks any inspiration for my own fantasy romance, since I'm kind of starting my fantasy romance from the beginning in a sense, since my world building is completely different than what it was 2 weeks ago. Interesting. I think I'll be bumping it up because I too need to find some more inspiration for one of my projects. Highly recommend it. I don't remember which was my favorite book. There's 6 books in the series. And I have all of them over there. I don't remember which one was my favorite. I kind of want to say it was book 4, but don't quote me on that. But yeah, I highly recommend the series, and I'm excited to reread it. All right, so why don't we get this first sprint started so that I can clean up this desk and get my tea and figure out exactly what I'm gonna work on first tonight. So let's start this, and I will see you guys back in 25 minutes. Happy sprinting with whatever you are doing. Okay, and that was that sprint. How did we all do? It was going to be a productivity sprint for Frida. Yeah, I think I've gotten my setup ready, and I've got my tea. I ended up having to take Storm out for her last night or last time to go potty before she goes to bed. And while we were out there, my nose hairs were freezing. Like they were frozen, like it felt like icicles. It was hilarious. But yeah, I think I'm finally set up for the night. I've got my notebook for in case I take notes while I'm reading. I've got my laptop up with my fantasy romance all set to go, and I think I'm finally ready. It's still messy, but it's better. Okay, that's at least it's better. It did not go well. My internet keeps dropping. Yeah. Unfortunately, with the cold, that sometimes happen. And are you experiencing a whole bunch of wind by you? Yesterday or last night, the wind was insane by us. It's not as bad tonight, but like there were probably 40 or 50-mile-per-hour wind gusts last night, and you could like hear it hitting the house, and you could feel it coming through the house. And at one point it even like scared Storm to where like she was barking in the middle of the night at the wind. And the whole reason why I'm in here is because when I was on StreamYard on my laptop in the living room, it was saying that my internet was unstable and that I needed to get closer to my router. So mine's probably a little unstable too if I'm not using the desktop, because that is connected straight to our router. It happens. You deal with it when you live up north. I have no idea. I have not been outside. It's too cold. I don't blame you. I've been outside once today, and that was just to take Storm to go potty. But I can tell how cold it is because we have a crawl space and it's not insulated. And so you can feel the cold air seeping up from that. And like especially in the kitchen when where we have tile, the tile is freezing, and the closer you get to the cabinets, which are on an outside wall, you can feel the air coming through from like the baseboards. Oh, it's the worst. But I get to be cozy. We're expected a cold front tonight, so let's see how that goes for me. But then again, I'm in southern Texas region, so things aren't that bad. Yeah, but it's still cold for you, like than normal. And I love that I have 2 Texas gals here. Same, the insulation in this old house is not helping. It also doesn't help that your houses are built differently than up here in the north. I was talking to Katrina about it earlier. And like how aren't like most of your like water heaters either outside or on like an outside wall. Ours is not. Ours is in an inside wall. So like it's in our laundry room, but that's like an indoor. So like you walk into our kitchen and then there's another room, and that's the laundry room with the water heater and our furnace. And it's surrounded by other rooms in the house, as to where I think most houses down in the south don't have that. And then I think our insulation and how much we insulate is a lot different too. But yeah, I've got 2 Texas gals here. I'm praying for y'all. I just saw the weather temps there. Oh, in North Texas by Katrina. Yeah. We had to go out earlier, and I'm like, I do not have the gear for this. No, you guys really don't. Up here, we have all of the gear that we need, but you really don't. Because what is the temperature that it normally gets by you in North Texas? like in the winter? What is like the coldest that it usually gets? Is I guess what I'm asking. What you doing, baby? Oh, Storm apparently doesn't want to go to sleep. Hmm? I do think it's supposed to warm up a little bit later this week, isn't it? Let's see. '20 to 30s, you think is what the normal cold range is? Or what it's supposed to be? Let's see. Yeah, next week it's going to be a little bit warmer. Warmer to where we're going to end up getting rain, which I hate rain in the wintertime. Ugh, I hate rain when it's 35 and 40 degrees out because that's the worst. Stormy, come here. Oh, come on. Sorry, my dog keeps trying to go out underneath the desk. What? Do you want to say hi? Come here. Come say hi. Say hi. Thank you. Go lay down, baby. It's usually around the 30s at night. Get out of the garbage. Pain in the butt. Sorry. Usually around 30s at night. Okay. Um, really? That low? But it's 15 right now and I don't like it. I love how you say warmer because it's still going to be cold. Yes. But warm for the north. I'm also originally from Minnesota. So I feel like I'm just built for the cold. I have also had the dream to live in Alaska. And then my husband, he would love to move to Montana and get some land there. And Montana gets freezing. Like, I'm pretty sure parts of Alaska gets warmer than Montana at times. But yeah. Next week, it's supposed to be in the 20s and 30s, and that is going to feel like summer after today. And it's supposed to start precipitation around 2 a.m. Leewan is hoping I don't have to work tomorrow. She's been organizing my books. I love her for that. I'm hoping you don't have work tomorrow too, because with precipitation at that temperature, it's gonna be like frozen rain, isn't it? And you guys don't have like do you guys have salt trucks like we do up here? It's so crazy how different the north and south does everything. Pretty much, which means the roads will be icy. Yeah. I hope you don't have to go in tomorrow as well. Yeah, they treated the roads, but it's like a weird mixture of stuff. What do you mean it's a weird mixture of stuff? It's not salt that melts the ice? Do you guys use sand or something? Unfortunately, I do work in the morning, but it won't be raining, I think, but the roads will be icy. That sucks. I hope. Can you please stop? Storm. No. Stop going into the garbage right there. Sorry. Um, I hope for your sake the roads aren't icy. Are you talking back to me? Are you talking back? Because I won't let you go in the trash? Really? You're cute. Like, it's not only salt, it's sand and other liquidy stuff too. I don't know, it looks weird. Hey. Hey. Calm down. Huh. That's strange. Everyone down here is just going insane. Insert that one SpongeBob meme where everyone is going crazy. That's funny. Alrighty. Should we get the next sprint started? And so I can actually get some kind of work done. Storm, I swear, I'm going to lock you out of here if you're just going to keep going after the trash can. Sorry. Ooh, Katrina, I know what you're talking about. It feels so weird to drive under. I'm shocked that it's just not like what we use up here that melts the ice and whatnot. I saw some TikTok vids of people at stores and everything is gone. Yeah, I feel like that happens a lot before winter storms or any kind of storm in general, like a bad one. Like, I think it happens when, the hurricanes come and Storm, I swear, what are you doing? Oh, I'm sorry. I made sure to go out on Thursday before the storm was supposed to hit on Friday, well, technically Thursday night, and I did a pickup order. So I went super smart about it, and surprisingly, I was able to get everything that I needed. My dog is going crazy in the living room. She has a burst of energy. But my friend was working, I think, on Friday night, and she said that at Target, at the Target that she works at, there were so many things gone and they didn't have anything to replenish it, and because everyone was crazy the night before. So I get that. It does feel weird. The weird salt sand mixture. I also got groceries on Thursday because we actually needed food. I mean, we needed food too, but I wanted to make sure that we had the stuff. Like, I'm making chili tomorrow. I wanted to make sure I had all the stuff for that. And we were making paninis yesterday, so I wanted to make sure we had all the panini stuff. And then I grabbed, milk and other random necessities that I wanted to make sure that we had just in case we were either snowed in, because they were talking about 12 to 15 inches, and surprise, surprise, we did not get 12 to 15 inches. We got about 3 inches, and the rest was freezing rain, and I was not happy. It was not a fun snow storm for me. I wanted the light, fluffy 15 inches of snow that they were talking about, and we got wet grossness, and I was not happy. I've surprisingly stocked up on all the kids' snacks and waters, and it looks like barbecue in case the lights go out. Haha, the heat. Yep. I also made sure we had water in case our pipes freeze, but luckily it hasn't. I'm crossing my fingers that it doesn't happen again. Because when that happened to you 3 years ago, I felt so bad. So happy we have a gas stove. It literally saved us in 2021. Yeah, and can you believe that, so many people want to get rid of gas stoves? Wasn't that a thing that the government wanted to do? Do not touch my gas stove. I will forever want a gas stove. Fluffy snow. I wanted the fluffy snow so badly. My kids wanted to go make a snowman and everything, and what we had was super wet snow, which is not fun to play in at all. So for their sakes and for my own sake, I wanted the snowstorm that we were promised. And for like the third year in a row, it was a very disappointing snowstorm. Got a memory from 13 years ago, and apparently it snowed today then too. I wonder if it just snows more often than you realize for you. Because like if it gets to be in the 30s, it's very possible for you to get your snow. All right, let's go ahead and start another. Oh, I see another comment. Oh, the memories. All right, let's start another 25-minute sprint so that we can get something done today. So happy sprinting. I'll see you guys in 25 minutes. Okay, and that was that sprint. How did we do? I was able to get a chapter in for Falling Kingdoms. Were you able to get any of your plot figured out, Katrina? Fortunately, I need to get to bed, but this was fun, and thank you for the stream. I got some work done. Oh, yay, Frida. I'm glad that you were able to get stuff done. Thanks for joining us tonight. Storm, why is it that every single time I come back from a sprint, do you just want to say hi? What's wrong? It's not playtime. I'm sorry, it's not playtime. Reading the trope book so I can figure some stuff out. I love that trope book. Oh my goodness. Storm, go lay down. Storm, stop. No. Yeah, for sure. Stop. I love this book. I've only read, I have to apparently keep petting Storm. I've only read a few of the different tropes, but I like how much information it has. Storm, get away from the trash can, please. I want to go ahead and like annotate this one, but definitely one of my favorite purchases of last. Yeah. Like it's a decent size too. It has 326 pages to it. Stop. It's not time to play. Okay, I don't know how much more Storm is going to allow me to stream. I might be able to get another 1 or 2 sprints in. I'm hoping she goes late to lay down and go to bed, but she apparently thinks it's playtime right now. Come here. Do you want to say hi? Do you want to say hi? Are you just not getting enough attention? Is that what it is? You haven't gotten enough attention? Stop. Oh my goodness. Yeah, that's exactly how she is right now. Come here. Come here. Come here. Come up. I'll hold you. But you're like too scared to come up. Come on. Come here. Up. Up. Come here. Up. Up. Don't give me that look. She like gives me that look like, come chase me. She's being a pain in the butt. Oh my goodness. What it is she loves the snow and she wants to go play in it, but it's too cold for her. Like she goes out there and she like does her little running around and then she quickly comes back because she's like, my paws are too cold. I'm too cold. Well, so far it looks like my other tropes work well with this one, so that helps. That's awesome. What are all the tropes that you have for the second book? Obviously, I know Grumpy Sunshine because I because I was talking to you about that one. I think I still have to figure out the tropes that I want for my fantasy romance now that things have changed. Let me pull that back up. Oh, Storm. Storm. Stop. Just stop. Go lay down. Do I have to lock you out of here? All right. Go. No. Go lay down. I apparently have to lock her out of here because otherwise I'm not going to be able to get anything done. Asian Chronicles. Small town force proximity and sort of workplace, but not really because of the event. Okay. I get what you're saying. Let's see. So I think I had this on my Notion instead of the Scrivener doc. Oh, I gotta pull that up. Writing dashboard, Asian Chronicles, book 1. Where was I putting all of these? You know what I hate is when I write down a whole bunch of things. Okay, there it is. And I completely forget where I put it. So what I wrote down for the fantasy romance was enemies to lovers, forced proximity, and then like a quest. But that quest I think is going to be, I think, the first 3 books. And I just I want like one more trope to tie in with enemies to lovers, because forced proximity isn't always it's not gonna be the entire book. It's gonna be like for some scenes. So I gotta figure out the other tropes that I want. Maybe I should look through this character trope one and figure out maybe a character trope or 2. Maybe. But yeah, I gotta figure that out. And then I was able to read the prologue for Falling Kingdoms, and it's elemental magic, which is probably where my inspiration of elemental magic came from. But I took that out now. But I want to see what else in here that I really, really liked a lot. And I wanted to I don't know. I want to go back to like when I first got the seedling idea of the Violet Hour and like what first inspired it. So I might have to actually go and look at other documents. Like I think I probably have to look at my OneNote because I think there's a notebook in there that has a whole bunch of stuff in there from the very, very beginning of writing this. Let's see, what Grumpy Sunshine book have I read recently? Let me pull up my Goodreads. So I feel like there's been a couple recently. My internet is so slow. Oh my gosh. It's so slow. I think it's just you and me here Katrina. So, all right. Books read. Settings. What is going on? Okay, that's the wrong one. Oh, hi, Nikki. I'm looking at my Goodreads right now to see if there's any books that I've read recently that have the grumpy sunshine trope for Katrina to read, to see if it gives her any inspiration. Back in the Burbs by Tracy Wolff and Avery Flynn. Have you read that one? That was a grumpy sunshine, and it actually has a it might actually help you because it deals with like an HOA as well. I know you're not doing an HOA. They kind of it, it has similarities to what you're trying to go for, I think. I enjoyed it. I gave it, I think, 4 stars. Yeah, 4 stars I gave it. And let's see, is there anything else that I read recently? Grumpy Sunshine. So, like, one of the characters is a grump, and the other one is like the sunshine to it. How better to describe that? I'm not really sure. I guess one is more pessimistic on. I can hear Storm just outside the door. I guess one is more pessimistic and one is more optimistic. You could look at it that way as well. Similar to an opposites attract, but Katrina and I were talking earlier that not all grumpy sunshine is opposites attract. There could be some that have some differences, but very similar to an opposites attract. Or not all opposites attract is grumpy sunshine. Maybe that's the way I'm thinking of it. Let's see if there's any others that I recently read. This dog is driving me nuts. So we all know the hating game is a grumpy sunshine. I think you've read that, Katrina? With that one, that may be what I start on now so I can take some notes. What are you doing?
Can't sleep because Storm's barking.
Oh my goodness. You haven't read the hating game? You need to do that this year too. And then watch the movie because it's great. The Fine Print by Lauren Asher is also a Grumpy Sunshine, and so is Twisted Love by Anna Huang. I enjoy both of those immensely. It was so cute, right? I think Lucy Hale did such a great job. But I know it sounds weird to have to read it before I write it, but I want to make sure I do it right. No, I get it. I mean, why do you think I'm doing some research on past inspirations from previous books? Those are good too. So there's at least 4. Do you want me to send the links to the other 3 that I talked about? I'm sure I can come up with more. And then yeah. Okay. All right, I'm going to start another sprint because I think Storm has to go to the bathroom again or something because she keeps whining. So let's go ahead and start this next sprint, and I'll see you guys back in 25 minutes. Okay, and that was that sprint. I was able to get another chapter in. Hello, welcome. Let's see. Yeah, so I read the prologue and the first chapter so far tonight of Falling Kingdoms. I am rereading it to hopefully get some inspiration for my fantasy romance, since this was like one of the very first inspirations that I got for it. I think I'm only going to be able to do one more sprint because I want to go get comfy. Usually I try to stay all the way until 11, but I am getting a little tired. So I'm going to do one more sprint tonight for whoever wants to join me. I might look back at old notes that I have for the very beginning of my fantasy romance, back when it was not a romance per se, but more of a young adult fantasy with a romantic subplot. And then I changed it to a fantasy romance for adults and new adults, I think 3 or 4 years ago, because I haven't had the interest to read or write young adult, even though I know I'm reading a young adult novel right now. I know that I want to write adult or new adult. Do I have any of that on this computer? Let's see. Let's go to OneNote. I'm almost positive I have a whole bunch of notes on a OneNote notebook, but I haven't used OneNote in forever. Let's see. It's loading. View notebook. OneNote looks a lot different than I remember it looking. But there is some world building here. Oh, here's all the inspirations. I'm going to have to look through this because this is so old. Like, it says from Monday, February 15th, 2016. That is when I first came up with this story. Granted, back then it was a young adult fantasy, but wow. Almost 8 years ago? Holy shit. I cannot believe that this story has been simmering in my head and gone through so many for 8 years. That is insane. Absolutely insane. Okay, I think I'm going to start the final sprint so that I can go lay down on the couch and read and get comfier. So I think for this last sprint, I'm actually going to try and do a little bit of brainstorming, maybe come up with the rest of the tropes that I want to write for this story. So let's go ahead and start this final sprint, and I will see you guys back in 25 minutes. Okay, that was the final sprint of this stream. I didn't get a whole lot done because I was dealing with Storygraph and I'm still trying to get used to it and I completely messed something up. So there's that and I'm trying to fix it. Yeah. Salty's Gaming's started hanging out with us. Hello. That was my last sprint of this stream, but I will be back on, I believe, on Wednesday. If you're interested on joining us then. But how did all of you guys do? There we go. I am excited to keep reading that. I think I'm also going to start Happy Place tonight once I go upstairs since I have the ebook from my library. So my friend Kelly will be happy that I'm reading that. But yeah, I am going to call it a night. I want to go sit on my couch and read probably a couple more chapters of Falling Kingdoms before I head upstairs to bed to start reading Happy Place. And yeah, for those of you who are new around here, me and my friend Katrina do a lot of sprinting and other nerdy things over on our Discord servers. All of our links are down below. We have a server that we each own, and then we have one that is combined. And then I will be back here on Wednesday morning at 10 a.m. Central Time to do some sprinting and hopefully be a little bit more productive than I was tonight. And then I will also be on later that night at 8 p.m. Central Time for those of you who cannot join me in the morning that day. But until next time, it was lovely being somewhat productive with you guys. I hope you guys have a great night.